What up? It's your boy T-Bear here in the reaction. Today is Music Monday. So, now I did most of the episodes of the I was a 90s dancers. I have no new ones had come out yet. So I thought I would return back to I was a Soul Train dancer. And we look at one of the legendary Soul Train dancers who I kind of caught eyes on when I started rewatching Soul Train a little later on down the line. We used to come on TV One, BET at times as well too. And always recognize unique ones like what's the name? Louis Sky, as well as Rosie Perez, and what's the Asian girl name again? I know last name Song. Keep getting her name wrong. Asian girl, Soul Train. What's her name again? Cheryl Songs, and many other. Another one I came across, always remember, who had these big old beautiful eyes and everything, long model face though, none other than Crystal McCarey. And I found out she had a story about her being a Soul Train dancer as well too. So without further ado, here is Crystal McCarey. Soul K recalls Marvin Gaye dancer, and one of the stories recall is Marvin Gaye asked her to dance on for his performance. So good story. So without further ado, let's check it out. You know, these stories are always good to find out, especially how they got started, then how they became bigger. So let's get it.
I'm Crystal McCarey, and I was a Soul Train dancer from 1976 to 1989.
It's Saturday. I see the golden sun is shining up above.
I am from the Windy City, Chicago,
Okay.
Illinois, the South Side. I grew up in Hyde Park, and I used to sing. I grew up singing,
She
so
been
I was
singing
actually
all her
doing
life.
recitals by the time I was 5. My mother is a professional dancer. In '55, they had a nationwide search for the dancers that were going to open the Moulin Rouge. It was
wow.
the first African-American owned casino in Las Vegas in Nevada, and my mom was one of 3 that were selected from Chicago.
Nice.
I would say the style of my dancing is for sure based on her, watching her at a very young age. I knew of Soul Train in '70, and I tried a couple of times to get on the show then, but being the only child, I could never go anywhere alone. So my grandmother drove me over there twice, and when she saw it, she said, no, I'm not leaving you here. She saw the kids out there, and everybody was acting all crazy. She said, no, it's not time for you to do this. So once I finished my schooling, I hit the first thing smoking to come out and check out LA.
Nice.
The way Soul Train came about is I was actually working in the building that was directly across the street from Don Cornelius' office, but I didn't know that. So here I am, deciding what I want for lunch. So I decided I was gonna walk to the sushi restaurant. I'm walking down Sunset Boulevard, and this guy goes by in a Seville, and he blows his horn, and I'm just walking, you know, I got on my short skirt, my suit, my hair beat, everything. So I go to work, looking good. He went around the block, and he came back again, and he double parked. He got out his car, and he ran over to me with a business card. He said, excuse me, do you dance? And I was like, yeah, of course I dance. And he said, well, I work with Soul Train, and you're really attractive. And I was wondering if you'd be interested in auditioning for the show. And I looked at his card, and I knew my mom knew Don Cornelius from high school because she used to talk about it when he first put the show on WCIU in Chicago.
Oh,
so
okay.
I called my mom. I was like, Mom, you're not going to believe this. And I told her, and she's like, just tell him when you get there that you're Bobby Sox's daughter. I said, okay, Barbara McCarey, I'll tell him. After work, walked across the street, went up to their suite. They had me fill out some paperwork, and I sat down, waited, and then Don got off the phone and he said, my, who's this? And I introduced myself, and I said, my mom asked me to let you know that I'm Bobby Sox's daughter. She remembers you from DuSable High School. And he said, Bobby Sox. I said, yeah, my mom was Barbara McCarey. And he was like, Bobby Sox. Oh my goodness, that's your mom? And he just immediately, he remembered her. So I just went into a showgirl move on him, and he was like, just make sure your skirt don't come down. Because I was, you know, doing my thing. shaking the hair.
Okay.
And I just rolled in. He was like, man, look out now, look out. He said, are you available to come on the show this weekend? And I said, yeah, I'll get there. And that was it. And I was there 13 years. Whatever city you go to, there's people who write, who dance, who sew, who design. And in California, there were more opportunities here for people too.
I got a friend who looked just like her. Like I got a friend from Delaware that looked just like her. Though I used to work with in school. When I was younger, she looked just like her. Though, man. Literally looked just like her.
Be part of things because this is Hollywood.
So
in the early years, they would show up with the trunk of a car completely full of clothes that they had originally designed. And some of them, they had actually designed for specific dancers. I would have 2 or 3 different people that would come to me and say, excuse me, but can I show you some of the clothes that I make? Because I'd like for you to, if you like it, to wear it on the show. And that's kind of how that started for me. And I did work with many over years. Dancers themselves were skilled at designing clothes. Aretha Jackson, one of my dearest friends today.
Nice. She was styling. When I was to watch her, she was styling. Yes, she was styling.
Using seamstress. She can sew by sight without a pattern. So she did some of the outfits that I wore. And then when Tony Briggs intersected into Soul Train, it almost seemed as though he became the designer of Soul Train, because his vision, and it was individual by dancer, it wasn't just one-stop shop. He actually saw the difference in our personality. He saw the difference in the way we moved. His concept of me, I believe, was kind of mermaid. He always put me in stuff that showed off my body lines, but he always gave me ruffles, height, because he knew that I was going to have these arm movements, and he knew that I was going to be swaying, and he designed for me that way. Tony did my clothes for the last...
Matter of fact, I think that's the one terrible team mission they got too, about working with MC Hammer,
4 or 5 years that I was on Soul Train.
Oh, there you go. This is last year live too.
The most memorable times on Soul Train were for sure Marvin Gaye. Marvin was a personal friend and he was a fan. He had watched me on Soul Train for years. So when he came, he asked Don if I could come up and dance with him in the intro to the song he was going to perform. And Don said, man, I can't just bring Crystal up here by herself. Look at all these beautiful featured dancers here. But what I will do is I'll grab a clutch of them together and let them come up here with you, and I'll let Crystal lead it off. So that's how that feature came about. Little Richard I also knew as well. And when he came and performed on Soul Train, he too requested me to come up on the stage and dance. Little Richard, I was like, wow, wow, wow. Me and Niecy Payne took over the stage, and Reggie Thornton, we got up there and we just rocked and had such a wonderful time. And then Funkadelic. I came upon that opportunity rehearsing to go on the road with Bobby Womack, and I sing, so I had agreed to do a short tour with him. So we were there rehearsing at the rehearsal facility, and I was walking through and we saw Funkadelic, and they recognized me right away. And they were like, Crystal, you know what? We're gonna be on Soul Train this week. One of our background singers and dancers is on the road. Do you wanna fill in? So I said, sure, let's do it. When I went to Soul Train for that taping, I was going into the celebrities' dressing room, and everybody was like, where's Crystal? And they said, well, she's here, but she's gonna be on the show. All the dancers and everything were like, Crystal's gonna be on Soul Train, she's gonna be on the show. And nobody knew exactly what I was gonna be doing. Wow. And everybody was like, well, if she got a record deal and she's getting ready to debut and she didn't tell me, I'm gonna be done with that happening.
Crystal, what are you doing up here?
That was nice.
Here's the way I look at food and productions. Basically, it's food.
Here we
We
go.
don't know who he was helping by providing that chicken to us. This is always a chain when hand scratches.
It's always good hearing how true that fried chicken story was after watching the show. I wonder if they're ever gonna come back with a new season though. But
Together. And after you had danced for 6 or 7 hours, you were tired.
I wonder if Rosie would
And
do
it was
our
convenient
Social Dance
because
episode too.
we could not leave the studio. Now I will tell you, we left. We would get in our cars and drive down the street
We gotta hear
and
the story how she got
go to Acapulco, have Mexican food. But most of our time on lunch breaks was spent trying to figure out our outfits, trying to rehearse.
Mm-hmm.
It was food, and guess what? You didn't have to eat it if you didn't want to.
She was stylish. Yeah, she was stylish. Look at all this.
The Soul Train line is like the quintessential feature spot. That's where all the dancers wanted to be included. They didn't even care if they danced on the floor the
With
entire show, maybe on a riser once or twice, but everybody wanted to come down the Soul Train line. That's where you really got to engage the audience. Definitely one of the favorite parts of the show, and everybody kind of prepared for it. Sometimes it happened right off the top. Other times
I like
it was
that right
just
there.
rehearsed. We would
I was
use our
like, I
time
guess
during
that's
the
Michael
lunch
Jackson
break
inspired there.
to rehearse. We were figuring out, okay, what we were going to change into. That was also a big thing. We didn't want to be wearing the same outfits that we did the whole show. So everybody was rushing to try to change into something for the Soul
Nice.
Train line.
I was wondering about that too. Because a lot of folks, they will perform there. Like Luke Scott said, he'll perform. Like, and ain't just
It was
dancing.
time
just,
for me to leave Soul Train at
Like do skits.
31, I think, and I thought, how much longer can I do this? And I thought, it's time for me to make my break.
Yeah, she
And I
looks
still
just like
did
my
it for
friend,
another year because
Jocelyn.
it really was hard to
Oh,
stop
Jordan, what's
dancing on
his
Soul
name? Jordan
Train.
James.
It was a fantastic workout
Jocelyn
every
Jordan.
month, but it was time for me to go. But before I did, I had to ask John if he'd give me a job. I said, well, John, I really want to work on your show. And he said, well, get in line. He said, because if I do it for you, I'll have to do it for the other 50 that have asked me. And so I had to just draw the line and make a hard, fast rule that, I can't do for one if I don't do for the rest. So I understood that, it was all good, and I made my transition from Soul Train. Soul Train was such a unique vehicle. It was a really closely held, familial type show. Everybody got along, everybody respected one another, and they made us know that they cared about us, and we needed to care about the image that we were projecting as part of the show. And I felt that my placement there, having not had a chance to dance on it in Chicago and then coming to California, and I didn't come looking for it when I got here. I came here looking to, work in industry and music. For it to come together the way that it did for me, I knew that I belonged there. So yes, I would do Soul Train again in a heartbeat. I made some amazing friends that are still my friends today, 30 years, 35, 40 years later almost. Still talk to them every other week. Everybody's still healthy and we're still here.
I was trying to look up the my friend's name, but my phone's acting funny. But yeah, she looks. It's like, give me a quick second. I'm back. Yeah, my friend Joshua, yo, she looks just like she can be her niece, a relative, definitely. If you see a little bit, I don't need to get good look. Of course, lighting, but like the lighting was so bad. Let me turn the lighting off real quick. Let's see, you can get a good look. Still ain't enough, but anyway. But yeah, my friend Josiah, she look just like that lady right there. What's her name? Crystal. I'm gonna ask her to see if that's a relative or anything. But other than that, good episode as always. Though she does her own little brand and all that as well too. But anyway, she's kind of into music. But other than that, if you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's your boy T-Bear signing off. One love.